Good morning. It's Facebook Live Day, and today I am excited to share a little bit about going back to school or back to whatever it is that you're going back to. September in our area of the world tends to be a month of change and routine and getting out of our summer duds and into more warmer clothing and different kinds of learning and different kinds of routine. And I know I have had an awesome summer, really been enjoying really relaxing and resting this summer. We didn't do a ton of big vacations or anything like that. We stayed pretty much close to home, small little trips here and there, but not a lot of big stuff going on. And I really enjoyed the relaxed atmosphere. I also had a lot of kids not here. I had some kids here, so some days we had lots of kids and some days we didn't have any kids at all. And between the four kids that we normally would have coming and going, it was really nice. Like this week, there's no kids. And I know my Facebook Lives are generally quiet, but I didn't have to position anybody. It's just me and my husband this week, so it's been lovely to have a little bit of break. And they're all descending this coming weekend. They're all coming back home and probably bringing friends too, so I know my peace and tranquility will end very soon. And we have one more week until everybody's back into school. And I know that some people have already gone back to school, and some of you are already in school, and some of you, it's not even a transition time of year. So hopefully the tips that I share will be helpful no matter where you are in your life right now in this time of the year. So we have, so I have four kids. Two of them are going to high school this year. So one's graduating, oh my goodness. One's going to grade 9, and then two are homeschooled with their moms, so they're my stepkids, and going into grade 10 and grade 5. 4, 5. Oh dear, they're growing. So all of them can be using oils to support them during this time of transition, and as they're moving forward with their passions this year. I'm chatting with all the kids and figuring out what they want to do for extracurricular activities this year too, and how we can support them in that way. So as we begin to shift gears, what oils can support us in this and help our kids to have an awesome year and help us to get through it unscathed as well, and hopefully a bit stress-free and supported in our health and wellness. So this week, this Facebook Live, we're going to talk about oils that will help support emotions. So right from the night before school starts and right through to the morning and the day and the evening when you come home and reacquaint with everybody. Next week we'll do part 2, and we'll do more on our physical health and wellness and keeping our bodies healthy with our Thieves line. So we'll talk more about that and what this little doodad is for. So that's next week. We'll do the Thieves line. So this week I'm really excited to kind of go through and assess what kind of emotions might we be feeling in this time of year, and what our kids are going to be experiencing. And are they excited to go back to school? Are they terrified? Is this their first year? Is this their last year? So where are we at, and what areas do we need to support them? So some of the feelings that I kind of imagined would be happening, and might be happening in my home too, are feelings of, so I'll tell you the feeling, and then I'll show you the oil that can be used to support that. So first off, anxiety. Lots of kids have anxiety going back into a new situation or an old one. They're just not really willing to give up their summer break for. So joy is a great one to use for anxiety, and you can apply it topically as long as it's not it is a photosensitive oil, so you don't want to be putting it somewhere where the sun, during the sunny season, unless you're putting it on your feet or somewhere where the sun isn't shining on your body. Otherwise, you can be diffusing it, so it's great for that. Diffusing all of these anxiety oils is actually a great way to get them into your kids and having them around them. Scared. Who's scared of new situations? Peace and calming. Awesome for that. And this is a great one to put right on your wrists. Just a drop, and smelling it throughout the day. Its fragrance will last, so it's a great one to use for being scared. What about boredom? Lots of teenagers, older kids think this is the most boringest thing in the world, school, and I don't blame them at times. So that's a grounding. So this oil is from the US side, so from our NFR market, but easy to order through the US on our US account. So that's grounding, great one for boredom. What about stubborn? I'm not so sure. My family has a lot to say about being stubborn. My mother probably would have loved to have had this one, which is Harmony. I tended to be a very stubborn child, but I think it's done me well in my adult life. Being stubborn helps us to go for what we want, right? And to really identify what we want. So Harmony, great one for working with stubbornness. What about worry? So do you have some worriers the night before or the morning of? Abundance is a great one, good for diffusing too. So get that abundance going. Maybe a few days before school starts, just start putting abundance into your diffuser and help those worriers to relax a little bit. What about not wanting to be here? So the feeling of, you know what, I'd just certainly rather be somewhere else. And that is Citrus Fresh, also a great one to throw in the diffuser. It is also photosensitive, so you don't want to be putting it on your skin when the sun is out. So great one for diffusing as well, Citrus Fresh. And what about if you've got older kids? Do you get a lot of the, F you, I just don't want to do what you're telling me to do? Frankincense, throw that in the diffuser. You don't even have to give it to them. Just put it in the diffuser and let it do its work. The particles, as they release into the air, they're going to be smelled into the body, absorbed into the body. And as you're smelling oils, they reach the limbic system in the brain, so which is the area of the brain that our emotions are housed. And to work with emotions, a scent is one of the best ways because it reaches that limbic system. It can actually reprogram that area of the brain. So it is amazing. So a lot of people use aromatherapy to retrain their brain, and then a great oil to be using for that is cedarwood because it actually can penetrate the blood-brain barrier, and it can help repattern the neural pathways of the brain. So it is great for working with brain, and it's also part of a focus blend. So if you're working with kids that may not have the best of focus, which I mean even as adults kind of tend to be a little bit scattered, you can make a focus blend, and the 3 oils I would use for that are cedarwood, frankincense, and vetiver. And actually I'd probably put a bit of lavender in there too. So these 4 oils together, you can combine them into a roller and use it for focus and concentration. So you could do, I probably would do 15 drops of cedarwood, 15 drops of vetiver, and then 7 drops of frankincense and 7 drops of lavender. So then you've got about 45-ish drops in a roller ball. So you want to get keep your empty glass jars and put those drops in there, and then fill the rest up with either V6 oil, which is the Young Living carrier oil, or another carrier oil like olive oil or fractionated coconut oil or avocado oil, whatever you have, whatever you like. And then stick a roller ball on the top, and then you've got a focus and concentration roller. So that you can give, it's diluted enough that you can give it right to your child, and they can apply it around the crown of their head, onto the top of the skull, back of the neck, and even on their wrists too, so that they can be smelling it. So that's going to really help with that brain and focus. So the vetiver oil is quite a thick oil. And you'll probably, as you go to dump it, you'll be like, it's not coming out. And that is, yeah, it's just really thick. So just warm it a little bit first, either in your hand. Somebody else mentioned just sticking it in your bra, wherever there's a little bit of heat, and warm it up a little bit so that it is easier to pour. So it is definitely a lesson in patience to get those drops out of there. But it's awesome for focus and concentration. And a couple of more that I have that don't really relate to, it doesn't really relate to a specific feeling or emotion, although super supportive in our day-to-day lives, and that's the Valor, which is known for its strength and courage. So this is another one, if you or your child is experiencing a little bit of doubt, lack of self-confidence, just not really sure, a bit of intimidation, Valor, grab the Valor. And we've talked a little bit about Valor Balance before, which is helping to balance the whole body by putting Valor on your feet and then using your hands, opposite hand to opposite foot, to just get the energies pulsing in the body and to get your whole circuits going. So I've been working with Valor this summer. I started earlier this summer, late spring, applying it to my feet every day, almost every day. Some days it doesn't work, but majority of the time, every morning I'll start with a Valor Balance. So I'll do that, put the Valor on my feet and then hold the opposite foot to opposite hand and just hold it there until I feel that I'm ready to go. And I have noticed just a change in how I view myself and my business and how I interact with others. In the past, in the spring and the winter, I was having feelings of doubt and of not being good enough and of is this really, just some crazy stuff that was coming up. A lot of the emotions that a friend had posted in our group yesterday, I believe, about how the difference between men and women selling. And just the first part of that goes through the myriad of emotions that we as women go through when we sell something or when we're trying to share something of value with somebody else, and how we devalue ourselves and what it is that we're offering. And I was caught up in that cycle. And Valor really has helped to break that for me so that I could come to a place of no matter what somebody else says, no matter what somebody else feels about what I'm offering, I'm confident in myself. And I know what I'm offering is true for me. And that comes through as just more truth giving to others. And so it doesn't matter what the final results are. If I'm working in my business and someone says, no, thank you, awesome. That's great. No worries. And on I go. And because I know what I'm doing is what I love to do. So Valor, awesome. If you don't know how to do the Valor Balance and you want to see a video of that, I'll wait till my kids come home and I'll do one on them and video it for you and post it, because it's an awesome way to, even just if your kids are driving you crazy and you just need some downtime, it creates a great connection time for you and your child or your spouse, whoever it is that you're doing it with, so that you're touching and you're using the oils and you're assisting your body as well. So leave me a comment if you want a Valor Balance video, post it, and I will work on getting one of those together. Because the other ones I've done have just been really, really short. So I'd like to show you the full Valor Balance procedure. Stress Away. Okay, who cannot use Stress Away? I don't know. I've even used it on the dog when we're going to the vet. So it is great. I mean, it does what it says. Stress away. So it just helps to dispel that stress and helps us to bring us back into a calming place. So put that in your car when you're driving your kids to school that first morning. Get that diffusing, and it'll help all of you. And also maybe help for those early feelings in yourself too of apprehension or however you're feeling when your new young babes are going to school. So use that Stress Away. I always have one in my purse. Someone's asking for a demonstration of the Valor Balance. Awesome. I will work on that. I'll work on getting a Valor Balance video for you all. Okay, my notes. So when I was looking at the emotions, of course, I referenced this book again, which is Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. So I tend to use this a lot in my Facebook Lives. I tend to use it a lot in my daily life. And because it helps to identify emotions that I'm experiencing or that my family's experiencing, and I can go to here and find what oil I can use to support that. So let's say I don't have an oil. Let's just say it wants me to use Palo Santo for supporting grounding, and I don't have Palo Santo. All oils are really good for a lot of things. So use your intuition. Just go to your oils and see what speaks to you and use that. And generally that is going to work for you. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago already now where it was 2 weeks ago where I missed Facebook Live because I was traveling and I got delayed. And I planned to do fly in, fly out to the city in the same day. I was hoping to save money on accommodations. And as it turned out, my son was sick as we were boarding, just about to board, and he's sick and we can't fly. And so I had no overnight luggage with me. I only had 2 blends of oils with me, and rarely ever don't travel with oils, but I was trying to go light. I was trying to travel really, really light. So I had a bug, the itchy bug roll on, because I had just gotten a whole bunch of mosquito bites over my entire back and they were driving me nutty. So my son was rolling my back quite regularly throughout the day. And then I also had a blend that I had made called Pixie Dust, which is one that I like to use for uplifting, and it smells lovely and it's just great. It has about 6 different oils in it. So those are the 2 oils that I had. That was it. And I didn't have anything else, and I had to be overnight in a hotel and getting up early in the morning to catch the next flight. So Pixie Dust was the only one I used for everything, from being stressed, a little bit stressed in that situation, from not having any deodorant. I just rolled that right on. I smelled lovely, actually. It felt great. From just my normal routine of using oils during the day, that Pixie Dust was a lifesaver. So if you don't have an oil and you haven't ordered it yet, don't worry, just grab one. They all are lovely. They really, really are. So just being careful that you know which ones are photosensitive if you're exposed to the sun, and which ones are not. And generally that's the citrus ones. So the citrus ones, keep those ones out of the sun. But as we are entering into the last half of our year here, the sun is going to be less and less, unfortunately. Okay, so we've talked about a focus roller with the cedarwood, the frankincense, and vetiver, and lavender. We've talked about the limbic system. What about sleep? So what about the night before? We could be all up a lot, late, getting ready, or just anxiety or excitement or whatever it is. So I will likely be using a lot of cedarwood for bedtime, and lavender, and vetiver. So all these 3 are lovely oils. You can use one or a combination of them. You can let your child choose. So put out a selection of oils and see which ones they gravitate towards. Get the diffuser going in the bedroom and start diffusing at night. Start a routine, a ritual of oils before bed. That can really help too. So as you, everybody knows how to start a good routine of getting kids to school and stuff. I'm not going to start from the basics. If you don't, if this is new for you, and maybe your first year of your child going to even to daycare or preschool, just research online, and there's lots of ideas on how to build a really healthy routine. But add oils to that routine. That can be really, really helpful. And let your kids pick. They love oils. Most kids really love oils. And they like to have the autonomy of picking out oils and making blends and things that are going to support them, and them seeing the results of what happens when they put different oils together. So those 3 would be my top picks. Peace and Calming is also really, really great. I like to put it on my legs or the kids' legs if they're having leg cramps or they're just feeling a bit restless. So that can be a little bit of a massage. Mix it with some fractionated coconut oil and rub it on their legs. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful, and it's a really nice fragrance. So those are like a good 4 oils that you can really use to help that bedtime routine. Having a bath before they're going to bed. Add a bit of lavender in with some Epsom salts, and to absorb that in. So I would put, for maybe about a half a cup of Epsom salts, a half a cup to a cup, depending on how big your bath is, and then about a tablespoon of baking soda. Add your lavender into the baking soda and mix it in before you dump it in the bath. And that way you don't get a film of oil on top of the bath, because that's not really fun. You want the oils to be incorporated into the bath. So about half a cup of Epsom salts, tablespoon of baking soda, and up to 7 to 10 drops of lavender. Just kind of feel it out and see how it smells. You can always add more if you want later. So I'm going to do a blend for you, and this one is the homework helper, or can be great for tests, or can be great for just whatever we need a little bit of a boost, whenever your kids need a bit of a boost, or you, either way. What works for your kids often works for you too. So I just have an empty bottle here, and I keep my bottles. I have tried to pare them down a little bit because they were kind of growing out of every cupboard I had, so I've pared them down so I don't have too many left. And we're going to make a roller. So these Aroma Glide filaments are from Young Living. You can order them right from Young Living, and they come with a roller ball and a lid. And in your starter kit you would have received one of these, so that's just to kind of get you going. A lot of people put it on the Panaway, but you can put it on whichever one you want. It doesn't really matter. But they're great. You can order more. So this homework helper has black pepper, grapefruit, lime, peppermint, and rosemary. I don't even know if the kids are going to get this one because I think I'm going to kind of like it. We'll see. My grade 12, I have a feeling she's going to be very busy this year, and so she might actually like this one. So I'm just doing a 5 ml, so it's going to be about 14 drops of oil total. I'm going to start with a black pepper and 2 drops of black pepper. 1, 2. And then grapefruit. Grapefruit's a lovely one. I like to use it every morning. And I really can't tell you publicly how I do it because the way I use it isn't according to compliance. So if you want to know how I use grapefruit, you have to message me privately. Grapefruit, 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lime. Oh, lime is lovely. It smells so good in the diffuser. It's just very, very uplifting. And it just, oh, it smells like a holiday to me. So lime, 4 drops of lime. 1, 2, 3, 4. And peppermint, which is going to help turn that brain on too. 2 drops of peppermint. 1, 2. And rosemary, 2 drops of rosemary. 2. And then we're going to swish that around a little bit. And then fill it up with carrier oil. So I'm using fractionated coconut oil. But again, whatever you like to use, there is one Young Living Cells that is called V6, and it's a blend of a few different carrier oils. It's quite lovely. It does have wheat germ in it, and I'm gluten-free, so I don't tend to use it as much because I don't do wheat. But if that is not a problem for you, then it's great. It's a really nice viscosity, so that means thickness, and it blends really nicely with oils. Makes a great massage oil too. Okay, there we have it. It's nice. It's actually quite subtle. It's not super strong, not super stimulating, which is probably good if you're going into a really a test or homework or something like that. So I'll show you how to put these on. I've done another video on this if you haven't seen it, but I'll show it really quick. So just place it in there and then put the lid on and screw it all the way tight, and you'll feel a little bit of a depression, and then just check and it's on. Okay, so the other video shows how to take this off. I'm not going to take this one off here. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see how to take it on, take it off, and just adjust those. So you can reuse them. Don't throw them away. Okay, so that is my homework helper. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Actually, you can smell a little bit of everything in it. And I like that it's not too strong, so it's not too stimulating. So again, I would probably do this around the crown of the head, the back of the neck. I can do that. And on the wrists that can be smelled. So that's a lovely homework helper for you or your kids. Maybe you're going back to university. Good on you. That's awesome. I also have some blends a sheet of blends of diffuser blends that you can be using in the mornings as well. So I'm going to post that in the comments below so that you can see and experiment with those. What do you want your morning to smell like your first day of school? What do you want the evening to smell like as you're getting the kids ready? How do you want to feel when you're dropping your kids off? How do you want to feel when you're waking them up in the morning? Plan those out and use the oils to support you in that way. And getting those kids waking up and going in the morning, you can try peppermint and orange in the diffuser. Those are lovely combinations. As well, again, I'll post that diffuser blends and you can experiment away with the oils that you want to use. That's what I have for you for Back to School with Emotions. There's so much more, and just Don't be shy to keep experimenting and adding oils together and seeing what works for you. So coming up in our local area, we are having an event in September 14th. And how many of you have ever done speed dating? I never have, but what about speed oil dating? So we're working on a fun event coming up in September. And if you're not here, you're not local, we are having a live event online. And this month, I believe it's going to be, so for September, sorry, it's going to be a day in the life of an essential oiler. We did this online event earlier in the spring, or maybe it was last fall. I can't remember when we did it, but it was a great success when we did it, and it was really a lot of fun. So everybody who joins posts throughout the day exactly what they're doing with their oils, kind of real time. So right now I'm grabbing peppermint and I'm putting it on whatever. And so we share and we get so many ideas because people use oils for different things that I didn't even think of. And I love learning from you, and I hope that you learn from everybody as well. So I'll be posting those events coming up soon. And in the meantime, the last few weeks before school, put your feet up, read a book, smell some oils, swing in a hammock, go to the beach. Just find something that fills you up because we're about to get going. Hold on. If you haven't visited my group, it's RDYL Terese, Terese, and my team name is Real Deal with Terese, which we are part of the Real Deal across Canada, across the world, which is just kind of like a team name in Young Living. So there's a group of us in Young Living, and our team name is the Real Deal, and that's all that means. It's just to inspire us and to help us connect with each other. So we will see you again next week, and please continue to post if you have questions in the group. And thank you for joining me, and all the best. Bye-bye.